If you're a basketball fan, here's the latest information that's come out of the WNBA. It now appears that their star guard, Caitlin Clark from the University of Iowa, second year in the league, probably will not be returning. Now, nobody can say exactly when that edict would be over, but right now they're saying that injury, the groin injury she suffered, well, apparently she's still having work done on it. And whatever that is, trust me, if you've had that injury before, you know it takes a long time to heal. Mother Nature is not very forgiving if you mess that one up. And that's kind of one of those muscles that, well, no telling how long it's going to take to get itself repaired. Now, she's still in rehab. The doctors are still working with her. But for the time being, it appears that she's going to be on the sideline, sort of like a secondary coach, getting the girls up and going. Now, most of you are going to say, well, that's going to be a big problem. What about the future? Well, the future is this. Maybe, just maybe, she can come back for the playoff if the team makes the playoff. That's certainly a possibility. But if that's not a possibility, she could be out for the rest of the year, which would be unfortunate. And I'll tell you why it's a big deal. Because the collective bargaining unit for their agreement ends in October of this year. Since she showed up on the scene, the ratings have gone through the roof. 2.3 million people in today's age watching one basketball game of women. That's primetime stuff, folks. Primetime stuff. But when she's gone, the ratings drop down around 50 to 55%. So it just goes to show you, she is the catalyst. She's the key to the entire engine that makes things work. And if she's out, possibly the public, those who follow her and follow the women's basketball, might say, don't want to watch it. I'm not interested anymore because Caitlin Clark is not playing. But here's what's interesting. Since she has been gone, the team is starting to coalesce. They're actually starting to come together. Yes, they have been beaten, but not by much. Well, for one particular game. But they're starting to show a little bit of cohesiveness. They're actually getting together. They're actually moving the ball around. They're actually working as a team without Caitlin Clark. She's on the sideline coaching them, telling them what to do, and I understand that. But they're actually working, and some of these other young ladies are picking up the slack. I mean, they're hitting double digits, they're doing their jobs, and they're winning basketball games. Now, is that going to help for the new contract for the WNBA? I don't think so. Because right now, there's a possibility. I know some of the players are saying, hey, we're going to walk out if we don't get what we want. Well, you can't get what you want because there ain't nothing to get. You know, for the last 27 years, this league has been losing money. I mean, you haven't figured that out yet. But every NBA team's been coughing up $1 million plus every year, some $10 to $12 million per team. So you can have your payroll of $76,000 a year, which is chump change, I agree. But you ain't going to get NBA money because you ain't making NBA revenue. Now, since Caitlin Clark came along, yes, the interest has gone up. I mean, take a look at the average number of people that show up for games in the league. Look at this chart. Now, if you really want to see what's going on, take a look at this document. This shows you what's going on with the teams, what kind of numbers they're drawing. And take a look at this. There it is, the Indiana Fever. Average draw, 16,590 per game. Their total is 381,000, and their lowest was 3,265. But the highest, take a look, 20,409. What does that tell you? And I think that's what they're playing to on the road as well. Home games and on the road. Number 2, Golden State coming in second, 14-4. That's a far cry from 16-5. Caitlin Clark she's the seed that makes Indiana work, but she's also the main golden goose for the full WNBA. So like I said, could her absence be a problem with the new contract? Well, very much so it could. But how it turns out, well, that's anybody's guess. But now you take a look, see who's the big players and who's got the big numbers. Right now, the big numbers in the league, the Indiana Fever. Something you ought to know about. Obviously, the number one team is the Fever. But look at the size. Look at how many people are attending women's games since she came along. It's a big deal. It has changed things. So will the agreement get itself worked out? Will they get a new agreement? I don't know. Is it possible that the players could strike? Yes. Is it a bigger possibility that the owners could perform a lockout? That one, my friends, is an even bigger yes. So you got Caitlin out, your stars out, your audience starts to drop, and with that, your revenue starts to drop. Well, the people who own the teams in the WNBA and the NBA itself are going to be a little bit reluctant to give you what you're asking for. Sure, you can get a raise. I understand that. But getting share of the revenue? There ain't no revenue, ladies. Just saying. Now you know what's going on. Caitlin Clark could be out for the rest of the year. And could the WNBA be looking at a lockout or a strike? The answer to that is possibly yes. Let's wait and see what happens. But now you know.